If there's a Ford in need, I am the man indeed. I will find them. I will fix them. I'll love them. And you know, I'm going to drive the shit out of them. I am the Ford aficionado. Welcome to my channel. Howdy guys, good morning, welcome back. Honda Hottie and Ford aficionado back at it again. As you can see, we're here with Big Betty. Just ate breakfast with Mama, my nephew JC, and Peyton, my niece Peyton. And I come out here looking at this thing, and as you can see, there's all kinds of mud and where it's been, that radiator's been leaking. I just plugged the battery charger up. I'm gonna let it sit all most of the day, and let's just see how much power it's got now. A little bit more than it had, it seems like. Let's just see. Put the key in a switch. There we go. Nothing. So we're gonna let this sit for a few hours and come back around. What time is it? 10, almost 10:30. So we're gonna give this some time to sit and settle, charge up a little bit. When my air pump gets charged up, I'll pump this tire up. I'm getting kind of slack. We've been sitting in the cold weather, but just look at all that where water's been leaking. Let's just see. There's water and oil. I just want to take a quick look. Yep. Yep, it definitely smells like water and oil mix. So, like I said, there's water and oil. So, check the radiator cap. Yeah, she's empty again. So, we're going to give this a few hours of charging. Then we'll come back and see if she'll spin over. So, yeah, give y'all a better view of the place. Again, this is a storage building. It is beautiful up here. Just look at that. Just look at that. As y'all can see right down there, there's my little Fit. Me, my dad, my mom, and my nephew, my niece, we're all going, both my nephews and my niece are all going to go out on slides tonight. And have a good time. We had breakfast this morning, me and my mom, my niece and nephew. And say guys, my dad got this truck in I believe around the end of 2022, right after I started my job at Walmart, and it had 250,000 miles right on the dot pretty much. And so he's put 50,000 miles on this truck, and like I said, I've changed the oil in it every 5,000 miles, put a brand new set of tires on it just a couple of years ago, put a water pump, put an alternator, put a fan belt, actually put several fan belts. The tensioner snapped off, so I had that replaced. And he said he ain't been long put front brakes on this thing. So it's probably right at 300,000 miles by now. That's what I'm waiting to charge up the battery to see if it's hit 300,000 yet. But like I said, he got this thing at 250,000 miles for like $2,000, something like that, $2,500 maybe. And so he's only put 50,000 miles on it. And Fords are good vehicles. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Fords are great vehicles. But like I said, they just don't have a lot of working room on some of them. And so, you know, This truck ain't got no rust on it except for the rocker panels up underneath. And so the back door doesn't open anymore. Hatch doesn't open anymore. Just like White Lightning. But yeah. I mean, I ain't been long to put wipers on. I want to replace this headlight. But you know, I've been thinking a lot about it. You know, he's only put 50,000 miles on it. You know, and people say Fords ain't worth a damn. Well, this truck, they have gotten their money. My dad and mom got their money out of this truck, I tell you. But when something major like this goes wrong, people just say, I told my dad last night, I said, I want to try to figure out how to get it back down to the house. And then try to find somebody, more or less be best to put another motor in it. If I can find somebody that I trust to do it. You know, motors ain't that cheap, and labor ain't that cheap, especially. But this truck is in such great shape. Who cares it's got 300,000 miles on it? You know, mileage don't mean a damn thing to me. Like I always say, it's about maintenance. You take care of your vehicles and change the oil and maintain them like you're supposed to, and they'll last forever. But what brought this truck down, to be completely honest, was my dad never really, you know, I've always said I'm a cheap person when it comes to, you know, buying things. But my dad never really put any antifreeze in this thing. And, you know, I guess I can say neither did I, because it already, by the time I figured out what was wrong, it was losing water. It was already too late. Because my, it had started leaking water, and we let my mom and dad let my aunt drive for a while when her car got wrecked. And my dad kept telling her, make sure you put antifreeze in this thing, get as much water out as you can. And my aunt never did. And then when she got it, she didn't check to put antifreeze in, like I say. And then when that tire blew on that back side and I had to get it replaced, we replaced the tire. Then I drove it around, drove it back up, and we're letting it sit in the parking lot and idle. And then that's when I noticed it was pouring water out of the bottom. I said, oh shit. And so this thing's been run hot about probably a dozen times. And so I guess it finally caught up and couldn't take no more, and either head's cracked or the head gaskets are blown. But like I said, I'd like to get this thing back down to the house, no matter what it takes, and try to find somebody to put a motor in it. Because I'd rather not, you know. My dad told me last night, I said, son, it'd be best if we just sell it for parts or whatever. But I don't really want to do that because it's too good of a truck. It's in too good a shape. My parents driven this thing to, I think they driven it down to Georgia, maybe Florida once. I think up to Virginia. It's been all over the place. It's been a damn good truck. And so, you know, spending $2,000-3,000 on a truck to get it back, of any vehicle for that matter, is a hell of a lot better than going out and buying another car. But, you know, my dad did say last night he'd like to have him a good four-wheel drive Jeep if he can afford it, you know, come first of the year. But guess we'll see. But I'd rather not get rid of this one and try to get it back home and, you know, get it back on the road. And so yeah. But yeah, that's the update on this. We'll be back in a little bit when the battery charges up a little bit, and we'll see if it'll spin over and crank. hopefully the motor ain't locked up, but that's what I said. It could be one of two things. Because when I hit the switch, I mean, the battery's dead, so it's not really going to do anything. But it's not clicking, because normally I figure maybe 300,000 miles, the starter might have finally went out. Or the motor, like I said, the motor's locked up. But I guess we'll find out when I charge up the battery. So we'll be back. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you soon.